All right, welcome back to the Twist Takes Podcast, episode 31. Today we're going to wrap up our college football previews with the Mountain West and the Conference USA. We probably have a little bit of baseball to talk about because the Twins are about to take over the AL Central.
Yeah, only 3 months late.
Maybe a little Olympics talk with USA and the gold medal today, as they almost choked it against Jokic. Dante, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was watching that game. I kept telling my coworker, even when they were down 15, they're still gonna win. I should have bet on them when they were down by 15. That would have been the smart decision. But yeah, doing good. Excited to finish up this college football preseason talk, and yeah.
Peyton, how you doing?
Man, I'm actually doing amazing. The Packers play football today. The Angels' first round pick is soon to be a top 20 prospect, and that is hot. I love it. Yeah, Legoat is still carrying Team USA, and he literally has a gray beard on his face. So
I'd go as far as to say that was the Steph Curry game.
guess what? LeBron still leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
Does he lead in points? I thought Anthony Edwards was leading the team in points.
Well, Anthony Edwards had like 2 points last game. So
well, maybe he was leading in points per game up to that game. So I don't know if he caught up. And Michael, how you doing?
Doing all right. Bobby Witt's still on a tear. Dolphins looked pretty good in preseason last night. Been hitting bets left and right. Only one that I've missed really in the last few weeks. Not that I've placed too many was, we'll talk about it later.
We'll save that for later.
We'll save that for later because
NFL season hasn't even started and there's someone on the banned list.
Yeah, already.
Santos.
And yeah, I mean, other than that, it's been pretty good. Had some car troubles yesterday, a little whole fiasco, but at least there's sports on.
Oh yeah, baby. I'm missing the Bills Bears right now. All right, let's get right into it. So we're starting with the Mountain West. So same thing as usual. We're going to go over every team's win-loss. Then we're going to pick our sleeper, our underwhelming, who's going to be in the conference championship, the winner, and also our MVP of the conference.
Yeah, so Ryan, Peyton, Dante, Michael.
Okay, Ryan, Peyton, Dante, Michael. The first one is Air Force. Their line is at 6.5. And I'm going to be taking the over for them.
I'm taking the under.
All right.
I'm gonna ride with Ryan. I'm gonna take the over.
I'm going with the under. They lost a lot of running game.
I'm glad we support the troops, Dante. These unpatriotic fucks.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. So hold on. Let me go to Army and Navy. What did we have there?
I definitely took the over for Army. I probably took the under for Navy.
I think I took the under for Army and the over for Navy.
Ryan, you have the under on Navy. And Dante, you have the over. Peyton, over. I have the under on Navy as well. And Army, Ryan, you have the over. And then the rest of us have the under.
Wow, Michael.
Dude, I hate the troops.
Makes sense. You're from Atlanta. All right.
I live right next to the Air Force Base, so you know what?
All right, next up we got Boise. Their line is at 9.5, and give me the over. I think it's like 10-2 for them.
This might be the easiest over of the entire segment. We've done doing this for like over a month and a half now.
Yeah, I'm gonna also take the over. They're the best team in that conference.
Yeah, I'm pretty easily taking the over as well. They kind of struggled last year and still had 8 wins. So
I think I'm wrong. I think it is easily 11-1. I mean, what other game are they going to struggle in other than Oregon? I think we were talking about earlier when we were talking about Oregon, we like Boise to go in there and maybe upset them.
They could beat Oregon.
They could, but they could also realistically fumble another game. I mean,
dude, their road schedule is just not that difficult.
And they also have Malachi Nelson and Ashton Jeanty. I mean, they're not going to lose many games, if any.
No.
Yeah, but they do have to play both Washington State and Oregon State, who I think
win. That's the thing; they get them both at home.
Yeah, they left them out of conference realignment for a reason.
Yeah, but I mean, competition-wise, it's probably stiffer than what they're used to, like running the conference, so.
Yawn.
All right, next up we got Colorado State. Their line is at 6.5. I will be taking the over for them.
I too have the over on Colorado State.
I'm gonna take the under. I think it's a pretty good line, but I despise that head coach, and I'm just not gonna take the over on them.
I have the over, but man, the more I've been looking, their schedule is tough. They have
It
a tough
is.
schedule.
I can't wait till they whack Dion.
Yeah, I mean, they have a tough schedule. Like I was considering having them even in the conference championship. But you know what? We'll see about that.
All right, next up we got Fresno State. Their line is 7.5, and I'll be taking the over. All over so far.
I also have the over here.
I'll be taking the over.
Real diversity here going on.
All right, next up we have Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors. Their line is 5.5, and I'll be taking the under for them. They got to travel the Pacific.
Yeah, I'm also taking the under. I actually like their roster, but their travel is just awful. So, and Team USA Women's Soccer just won the gold, by the way, just now.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised. Yeah, they're a long ways from the Colt Brennan days. I'm gonna take the under on them.
Their quarterback now is actually kind of good.
He is, yeah.
Not bad, but I just mean the whole
He's
team
not
in
Colt
general.
Brennan. Yeah.
Still
No,
taking the under though. So clean sweep once again.
All right, next up we have Nevada. Their line is 2.5. You know my strategy. When it's low, I go lower. Give me the under.
Dude, I'm taking their over here. I have to show respect to my NCAA football online dynasty team, so give them the over.
I believe I touched on how I felt about Nevada in the last podcast. I'm gonna take the under. I think they're right there with the worst teams in the FBS.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. And they have a new coach, so I think the new coach might give them some life. So I'm taking the over. I think they can
And
win.
Also,
And you know why I'm taking the over? Their running back, his name is Sean Dollars.
I mean, it's
that
a
is
fire.
cool, but another petty under for me specifically. They screwed over my boy Charlie Pollock. So fuck Nevada.
All right, next up we have New Mexico. Their line is also 2.5. Same strategy. Give me the under.
I'm also taking the under here. Right with Ryan here.
I don't know if I could take two under 2.5. So I'll go over at 3 and 9. They're not that good, but
I'm also taking the under. They're god awful.
All right, next up we have San Diego State. Their line is 5.5. I usually like this team, but I'm going with the under for them this year.
I like for them to go 6-6 and get a bowl game.
I don't know too much about them. I know they were terrible last year, so I'm gonna kind of stick with the under.
Yeah, it's just weird seeing this team with a line at 5.5, honestly. So I'm taking the over. I think they'll be bowl eligible.
All right, next up is San Jose State. Their line is 4.5, and I will be taking the over. I think it's a 5-win season for them.
I think it's a 4-win season for them, so I'm taking the under.
Yeah, another good line, but I like the over. I think they'll win 5.
I'm taking the over.
All right, next up we have UNLV. Their line is at 7.5, and I'll be taking the under for them.
I'm taking the over here. I like University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna stick with kind of the same strat of they were good last year, and I like them to ride that into this year. I'll go the over.
I'm going to be taking the over as well. I think they're a pretty good team, and they have a pretty easy out of conference schedule too.
At Houston and at Canvas is an easy out of conference.
Houston's terrible.
Oh yeah,
but
Houston's
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, Houston's god awful.
Let's
And
play Syracuse with McCord.
Yawn.
All right, next up is Utah State. Their line is 5.5. I'll be taking the over.
I mean, when you have the highest paid quarterback in NFL history as an alumni, you have to go over here. So
I'll go over, but that certainly won't be my reasoning for it.
I'm going to take the over as well.
All right,
And
and
I'm going to switch to the under on UNLV. I kind of agree. I didn't realize they were playing Syracuse too. They're going to fumble one of those games against Houston or Syracuse, and I think it'll take them over. So,
all right, next up is Wyoming, our last one for the Mountain West. Their line is 6.5. No disrespect to Josh Allen. Give me the under.
yeah, when you don't have the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, you have to take the under. So
by that logic, we should have taken the under on every single other team.
when you have the white Cam Newton as an alumni, you take the under.
Yeah, I'll go with the under on Wyoming. More on them later.
Yeah, under on them as well. As someone that played with their team in the dynasty mode, they are very underwhelming. Speaking of underwhelming,
my underwhelming team for the Mountain West, I'm going to go with UNLV. It's just the highest line that I took the under on. And like I said, I think they do struggle in their out of conference with Kansas, with Syracuse. So I'll take the underwhelming for them.
My underwhelming is going to be Wyoming, as we just hinted at. That was my highest line that I took the under on. That was kind of my thinking. But yeah, I just don't think they're very good.
I'll be joining you with my underwhelming being Wyoming. I could see this being a 3-win season for them. I don't think they're very good. 6.5 is kind of high.
I'm going to be going with New Mexico. I genuinely think they could win one game this year, and Montana State's probably their easiest game on the schedule, and they're a decent FCS team. So I could actually see them losing that game.
But so that doesn't give you much buffer to win that, though.
I mean, if they go under and all, like, I mean, I don't think Wyoming will hit their line, obviously, and I obviously don't think UNLV. But let's say they go 6-6 and 7-5, Michael could win that with one win New Mexico.
I just think they're that bad. Like they're really bad. I also saw a lot of places where their line was 1.5 for their win total. Obviously worse odds than on the Hard Rock, but I really think they're that bad. And their schedule's tough. Like their out of conference schedule. Who do they have out of conference? They have Arizona and Auburn both on the road. And then Montana State.
Mm-hmm. All right, my MVP for the conference. I feel like we all might have the same person.
Yeah, whoa, where are you?
Sleeper. Sorry, sleeper. My sleeper is going to be Colorado State. I just like the Rams this year.
My sleeper is the Wolfpack of Nevada. I'm going with the same strategy I did in the MAC, where I took Akron to be my biggest surprise. I am taking Nevada to be my biggest surprise. Sean Dollars. Sean Dollars.
I'm gonna go with Fresno.
My online dynasty, so Sean Dollars.
I'm gonna go with Fresno State. I think that they're the second best team in the conference, 7-5. I could see them going 10-2 into the conference championship game.
All right, this one was kind of tough for me because I do like Colorado State, but again, I just feel like their schedule is pretty tough, especially out of conference, and I think it's going to hurt them. But I'm going with San Jose State. Going with
your
squad, yeah.
All right, now on to MVP. Like I was saying, I feel like we all might have the same person. Boise State running back Ashton. How do you say it? GNT? GNT.
That's who I'm taking too. Is a toss up between him and Malachi Nelson. But when you have a first team All-American in the Mount West, he's going to win the Conference Player of the Year. So give me GNT.
Yeah, I'll be right. Again, I actually struggled the same way between him and Malachi Nelson. Nelson hasn't really gotten much playing time yet, so I'm going to stick with the more proven commodity. I'm going to go with GNT.
I was actually between him and the Colorado State quarterback. I think he's got a lot of raw talent. I'm not even going to try Braden Nicolosi, and then there's some other hyphenated name between there. But I do think G&T's probably got the edge, and I also think that Boise State, their win total is just going to help him to push him
GT has
over.
a chance to win the Heisman.
Yeah, he'll be up there.
Agreed.
All right, now for our conference matchup for the championship, I'm going to go with Boise State over Colorado State. If I was doing with real money betting, I'd probably put Fresno in there. But since I went with Colorado State as my sleeper, just kind of want to ride with that. So I'm going to have them losing in the conference championship.
Okay, so I'm acting like Ryan is doing this with real money, and I have Boise State over Fresno State.
I also have Boise State over Fresno State, and it's going to be a close game. I actually really like Fresno State, but Boise State's too good. And I actually have them as my 4 seed in my college football playoff over Arizona, who I have winning the Big 12.
Yeah, I don't hate it for Boise to be one of the top 4.
So I'm going to go with I have Boise over Colorado State as well. Was kind of like I said, I'm back and forth, was back and forth between them and San Jose State as my dark horse. So I figure I'd kind of spread the wealth a little bit, and I also think since it's conference record, I think that Colorado State's out of conference losses will ultimately be less of a, or obviously less of a factor for the for the standings in conference. So,
All right. Next up, we're going to Conference USA. So our first team up is FIU. Give me it's 4.5. Give me the over Pitbull sponsored.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you've ever watched FIU play a football game, Ryan, but they might have the running
sponsored. It's a new world down there.
The only game they'll win is when they're in their Miami Vice jerseys. So give me the under a 4.5. They are atrocious.
I'm slamming that under 4.5 they should be 2.5.
Yes, they should be a 2.5.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. They are so bad. I really wanted to say over because of Pitbull, but I think it's gonna be a year or two before the Pitbull magic actually. He did it too close to the season. They need to use it for recruiting, and they didn't really get that opportunity. So give me the under.
Give me FIU with Pitbull in the Snoop Dogg Bowl.
They are not making it. Ryan, I would bet you almost any amount of money in the world that they will not make a bowl game.
Yeah, no, I'm just going with it for Pitbull. I did originally when we were supposed to do this like a week ago, or earlier. I had on the under, but breaking news recently has made me change. All right, next up is Jacksonville State. Their line is 7.5. Give me the over for them.
I went back and forth on this, but I'm taking the under actually. They lost a lot of their talent to WVU actually, which is funny because their coach was former WVU head coach Rich Rodriguez. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll go under 6-6. That conference is terrible. Don't make a bowl game, but
yeah, I'm going with the under. I think it's kind of the same thing as James Madison, where now that they've been kind of up in the FBS for a little while longer, their players made a name for themselves and then just went elsewhere.
Yeah, like Xavier Bosby. He's one of the best linemen in the transfer portal, actually.
But that conference is terrible, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Next up is Kennesaw State. Their line is 2.5 under.
Yep. Bumasaw State. I'm going under 2.5 also.
FGCU's rival, the hometown school. I hate them. Give me the under.
I'm taking the over. I just think these FCS schools have like a lot to prove, and I think that they have like a chip on their shoulder, so they're going to try to come out, and I think they could win 3.
I mean, they could upset Liberty at home.
Absolutely fucking not.
That is not happening.
All right. Speaking of Liberty, their line is at 10.5. Give me the over, a laughably easy out of conference, other than at App State, I would say.
Yeah, they also have a laughably easy in conference.
Yeah.
Give me the over.
Yeah, it was almost like hard to say Boise State was going to be the group of 5 represented because of how Liberty's gonna go 12-0, but again, their schedule is so fucking easy. I'll take the over.
Yeah.
I'm also taking the over, and I feel like there's going to be two G5 teams in the playoffs.
That's why I like your let's say Boise goes 11-1 and they only lose that Oregon game. They should, in all standards, be over a 12-0 Liberty.
They should be.
Well, yeah, 100%.
So,
But they're not going to
It
keep
goes to the highest ranked Group of 5 conference winner.
Yeah. But they're also not
both
going
of
to
them
keep
should be
out.
ranked in the top 12 at the end of season. If it's an 11-1 Boise and a 12-0 Liberty, then
They
that's
will
how
both be. They will both be top 12 if that's the case. They should be. Like, I think that the CFP would be absolutely crucified if they didn't put an 11-1 Boise State team or a 12-0 Liberty.
But guess
There's
what?
no
12-0 Liberty last year, or they might have lost one game in the regular season, but I don't think so. Got beat by Oregon by like 40 points.
Yeah, but they're still gonna if they go 12-0, they can't not put them in a 12-team playoff. That would be.
I mean, they could.
I think it depends on how the rest of it plays out. I mean,
Yeah, if you have a lot of 11-1, I guess 10-2, like how many 10-2 power
They
fours
would
are you
put
going
a
to put over a
9.
12-0 Liberty?
They would put a 9-3 Alabama or Ohio State in before they put a 12-0 Liberty in.
yeah, and I think it depends on how badly they beat these shit teams on their schedule. If they're squeaking by the Kennesaw States of the world to go 12-0, that makes a difference. Eye test.
All right, next up is Louisiana Tech. Their line is 4.5. I'll be taking the over for them.
I hate La Tech with a passion, so I'm going under 4.5.
I think that they could win 5 games in that dog shit conference. I don't think they're as bad as the fact that them and FIU have the same line is pretty crazy to me. So I'll go over.
I don't think they're that good at all. I'm taking the under.
All right, next up is Middle Tennessee. Their line is also 4.5. We have a lot of 4.5s here. I'll be taking the over for them.
5 in a row, by the way.
I give me the over.
They usually go 6-6. I feel like every year they go 6-6 and play in the Bahamas Bowl. So I'm gonna say that's gonna happen again.
The Blue
Taking the
Rays.
over.
All right, next up we have New Mexico State. Their line is 4.5. Also give me the over.
I'm also taking the over on New Mexico State. Monte Watkins is a really good running back.
I went over on the last 2. I'll go under just for the sake of switching it up. I don't know too much about them.
Taking the over as well.
All right, next up is Sam Houston State. Their line is 4.5. I'll be taking the under for them.
I'm also taking the under, even though they have one of my favorite receivers in all of Group of 5, Ife Adaye. But I am taking the under. He's really fast, though. 99 speed in college football, 25.
I'll go. This is a good line. I'm gonna go under. They go 4-8.
Taking the under as well. They were so hard to watch last year.
Next up is UTEP, the Miners. 4.5. Give me the under. I do not like Miners.
I'm also taking the under. They're trash.
Drake's favorite team. Give me the under.
Oh, Michael.
I'm taking the under.
Oh. All right, and then our last one is Western Kentucky. Their line is 7.5. I love their mascot, but give me the under for them this year.
I'm taking the over. They got TJ Finley from Texas State, and he's going to be automatically the second best quarterback in this conference. So, and Western Kentucky is QBU among G5 teams. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go over on Western Kentucky.
Way over.
All right, my underwhelming team for this conference, I'm going to go with Sam Houston. And I think for the same point, Michael, they were hard to watch last year, but I think it was because they just lost in the weirdest ways where you could have seen them winning 2 or 3 of those games. So in that case, I should have gone with the over and not my sleeper, but for that reason that I could not watch them, I'm taking they're underwhelming.
who?
Sam Houston.
Okay. My underwhelming, I'm going with Jacksonville State, only because I have something against Rich Rodriguez because I really wanted him to be Marshall's next head coach after this year, and then he went and signed a 7-year extension with Jacksonville State. So
This might be my easiest underwhelming pick that I've had so far. FIU is gonna win one game. They are so bad and they belong nowhere near a 4.5 line under or underwhelming, I guess.
I also have FIU as mine. I was back and forth between them and Sam Houston, but honestly, there was a lot of reports that were super high on them, like from my research that I was kind of confused about. But
My research.
well, I mean, we do have a podcast for sports
Are you
betting.
friends with Sam personally?
No, but I'm good buddies with Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, my sleeper for this conference. Give me Middle Tennessee. Kind of the same thing you said, Dante. Like I always feel like they're a 6-win team. Maybe they can sneak to 7. So they'll be my sleeper.
yeah, Ryan, way to steal my thunder with the Blue Raiders. That's who I'm also
Sorry.
going with as my sleeper.
Sorry.
Well, that makes 3 of us because I'm also going Middle Tennessee. That conference is terrible, and yeah, they're always in a bowl game every year.
Yeah, Michael, take them. Take them.
Take
Yeah,
the
Middle
Raiders.
Tennessee State. It was between
I
them
can't
and
wait till they
Western.
beat Ole Miss.
Yeah,
It was
that's
between them and Western Kentucky for me.
I agree, Michael. I was in the same boat.
Do we want to pick a second one for this one then?
Mm,
Okay.
I mean, if you want to just make a note on another team, feel free, but we only have one.
I mean, if you like Western Kentucky that much, they should be in your conference final, which you would get points for. I'm just saying.
All right. For our conference matchup, give me Liberty over
MVP.
Oh yeah, MVP. Sorry. Well, I already said. Let's do champion because I already said it.
All right,
Liberty
yeah, all right, we'll
over
do champion.
we
Jacksonville
all
State.
have the same conference player of the year anyways, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do, but just for the sake of announcing it. All right, you
I
have
don't think we do.
if you don't, Michael, then you have 0 brain cells.
He's gonna. All right. Well, we'll get there when we get there. But all right. So you had Jacksonville State losing to Liberty, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, I have Western Kentucky losing to Liberty.
Yeah, I got Liberty beating Western Kentucky like 55-28 in the conference championship.
I have Western Kentucky over Liberty.
Okay, so then we know who his
Taking
MVP is gonna
TJ
be.
Finley, go ahead and announce it.
All right.
Yeah, just say it now.
My conference player of the year is TJ Finley.
Okay, and the rest of us is Caden Salter.
Yeah, it's Caden Salter.
Well, that wraps up our college football. Next week we'll start with NFL.
It feels like we went through that pretty quick. We got some extra time. If anyone wants to do Heisman and national championship stuff.
I think maybe let's take a week and let's maybe do our 12. How about we do that? Our top 4 and who we think is going to be in that. So let's do that next week.
I like that too. I was wondering if we were going to make some time for that. So
and Michael, I have the memory of a squirrel, so you're gonna have to send me who my conference champions are. Just because I could be an idiot and think I picked someone else and be like, oh, I know I picked Oklahoma State. I'll be like, oh, I like Kansas to be in the top 4.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that
You're not
next
gonna have
week.
Duke and Riley Leonard in your top.
Give me Riley Leonard for the Heisman.
I mean, it's not an uncommon pick.
That is an uncommon pick.
yeah, what? Yeah, find me
he's
one
not up
person
there.
who said Riley Leonard's going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Is it that? I mean, I don't know.
I don't
feel
think
like
he's
in
top 10.
In a lot of the conference, in a lot of the, and not to say that this is any kind of indication, but in a lot of the college football 25 sims, he ends up being like top 5.
Oh, yep. College football 25 sims where App State won a national championship this year.
I have Boston College in my top.
Dog,
12.
I saw a sim where Tyreek Sapp won the Heisman Trophy.
I saw one where Tyler Shuck won it.
Yeah.
I saw one with Chandler Morris at North Texas.
So right now, Riley Leonard is 9th in odds.
That's insane.
When was the last time a player from Notre Dame won the Heisman? Was that Manti Te'o?
Manti Te'o did not win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, he did not win the
So,
Heisman.
so then it was even longer ago.
I
Have
feel
they
like,
had a Heisman Trophy winner?
yeah, no, they definitely have.
They have a lot of them, but they're all old as hell.
So it was the last one, if you got it in front of you.
Hold on. Tim Brown, I think.
He won it as a receiver. I don't know. That was probably what, the
Wait, yeah,
80s?
Tim Brown in 1987.
Yeah.
They're due.
Not Riley Leonard.
Okay,
All
so
right.
we're gonna do.
Well,
We
yeah,
can
we'll
discuss
do.
it later. We can
Yeah.
discuss.
All right. Anything for baseball? I know Peyton's been gooning over this one guy.
I mean, he's got 7 home runs in his first 8 professional games. That's just he's got 4 hit games in 7 games. I mean, he's hitting 600 with a slugging percentage of 1200. His OPS is almost 1900.
But the long of the short of it is he could be the next Mike Trout, and the Angels still wouldn't make the playoffs. They
Yeah.
would find a way to fuck it up.
Actually, the Angels have the best record over against teams over 500 since May 1st.
Wow, they
Do
must
you
be
get a
really
banner for
bad
that?
against the White Sox of the world.
They are. They are. But the only reason I'm saying that is because the Angels are actually very young and it's making me excited, not for like next year, but like 2026 and beyond. I think we could actually be okay.
Yeah, geez, let's start with the middle infield of Neto and Christian Moore potentially.
I
That's
mean, and Shanuel, who's got his WRC plus up to 110 now, Ohapi, who's people are finally recognizing as a top 5 catcher in baseball.
yeah. It's their starting pitching. It still concerns me. I know they have some young guys, but I don't see a projectable ace
I
in
mean,
there right now.
Caden Dana.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about a fringe top 100 prospect that they've had on the mound for, the first time. I mean, I guess Detmers is probably in the top 100 too, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Denver's
they've had too many busts. They've had too
Denver
many
was number
busts. Sam
one.
Bachman.
Dude, calling somebody a bust who's pitched in 10 major league games is crazy.
Yeah, but he's not even a projectable starter anymore. We're looking at a relief pitcher that they
That's
picked
okay. The
12th
Angels have
overall.
had the number 1 bullpen since June 1st, also.
Yeah, and that's all. And Ben Joyce has been very pleasant lately. He's been
Um, dude, I mean, I don't know. I think that the rotation could be okay enough. I mean, Soriano's been shoving. He has been absolutely shoving the baseball. And that's out of a guy who was in the bullpen first, too. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
they could make it happen. They drafted a lot of good starting pitching again this year. It sucks we didn't sign Ryan Prager because Texas A&M offered him $1.5 million in NIL money to come back. And the Angels only offered him like 1.35 was like the max we could with the rest of our bonus money.
Yeah, and you'd have to think even if they match that 1.5, the opportunity to try to go in and
Right.
get an
Right.
even better draft slot, I'd rather do that. I think my favorite baseball story right now was the Oakland A's ruining everything. They
Yes.
just had why did they what made them feel obligated to troll the Chicago White Sox and play Taylor Swift's or whatever 22 or whatever the fuck
And then
they
lose.
played. Yeah, and then they ended up and then they lost. We had the chance to see history, but the A's just had to poke whatever's left of the bear in Chicago, and I hate them even more.
Yeah. I do like Lawrence Butler though. He's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, no, they have some fun. They have some fun player. I like Geloff. I think he's a solid player. Obviously, they have Rooker. That pitching is just so bad.
I believe Geloff might still be hitting under 200.
And I know that, but he's got pop. He's on pace for a 2020 season, and I just think if he could get that average up a little under wraps, I think he could be a legitimate top.
So that means Joe Adell is a top player to watch for Dante also because he's on pace for a 2020 season, but hitting under 200.
Yeah, I also enjoy watching Joe Adell. I'm not saying these guys are all stars. I'm just saying I enjoy watching them play, and if they could fix one of their tools, they could be really good players.
Yeah.
They're just fun. They're fun guys. You're gonna tell me Joe Adele isn't at least somewhat fun to watch?
No, it's super fun to watch when he hits the one home run in 3 games and then strikes out the rest of the time. Yeah, it's so fun.
Well, Geloff doesn't have as many strikeout problems. It's more of a batted ball and play issue for him. But
Oh, when Joe Adele makes contact, he crushes the ball.
also true. Um, yeah, I don't have too much for baseball. I know Ryan, you wanted to get into the Twins being 3 months late on your prediction.
Well, so we're playing the Guardians right now. If we win out the series, so we sweep them yesterday in the doubleheader. So if we win the next two, we'll be leading the AL Central. And then I think that puts us above the other division. Like you're automatically second in the AL for
Yeah, it
playoffs.
would put you over the Astros for right
So
now.
they would be first. I believe
No, they're not. No, because they're not ahead of the Orioles or Yankees.
they're not, because I know Cleveland was like no more than like a few days ago, but I'm sure them losing to Minnesota.
Yeah, because the Twins are 2.5 back of the Yankees, but only 1.5 back of the Guardians.
Okay.
And then the Orioles are even above them. So we're back. Royce is back. Still don't have Correa.
Witt. Do you, Michael, do you think that Bobby Witt has any shot of winning the MVP? Not biased.
Yeah, absolutely. What?
Me, from a non-biased standpoint, based off of WAR and everything else that's not WRC plus or home runs, I think Bobby Witt should win the MVP right now.
From me
And I don't-
winning like 200 plus bets on him because I just kept taking him like either 1.5 or 2.5 over hits, run, RBI, and he'd get like 4 or 5. I also agree.
I just don't think he has a chance, not because he doesn't deserve it, but just simply because we know that the voters are going to go with Judge. I mean, I know how it's going to go.
So
I think
MLB writers or award people aren't like the NBA, where like they don't like recency bias.
They will vote for the same person every year. I mean, I guess not really, because if they did that, Trout would have had like 7 MVPs instead of 4. But
Well, no, but I mean, Trout's injuries really kind of fucked him up.
no, Trout did not start getting injured until 2021. From 2011 to 2020, he could have won the MVP legitimately every season.
Yeah. Well, I think that the voter, they haven't caught up with the times yet, where they look at more generic stat. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same reason why Miguel Cabrera won the MVP over Trout that year, because he won the Triple Crown. Yeah, and I'm not saying, like, again, it's a year where two people definitely deserved MVP, where you weren't going to complain no matter who got it. But if you look at WAR and a lot of those other metrics, I mean, Trout cleared Cabrera. And I know it's easier to accumulate defensive WAR as a center fielder compared to a first base DH.
Cabrera winning the Triple Crown, his WAR was like 6.7. Trout's WAR that year was almost 12.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. It's the same argument where are you going to punish a first baseman for not being able to accumulate defensive WAR? Because I mean, and that's one person's opinion. I've heard it both ways, where just the way that the stat, is calculated.
Ohtani is leading the NL in WAR right now as somebody who doesn't even play the field.
Yeah, but you also can't accumulate negative WAR. It's a lot easier to accumulate negative defensive WAR as a first baseman. I mean, if you look at I think last year, looking at the defensive WAR for first baseman, I think there were like 4 people above 0, and then the rest of them were negative.
Well, don't put a tubby fuck that can't play defense at first base then.
So if you look at the stretch between 2012 and 2020, well, 2019, before he started getting hurt, I think Trout led the league in WAR
every year.
No, he did not.
There was one year when Mookie Betts was over him, I think, and that was
2012. He actually came in second with the highest WAR in the league, right? That was the Cabrera year.
Okay, so his rookie season. Okay.
2013, he came in second and was best in WAR, and he lost to Cabrera. And then in 2014, he won it, but he didn't have the highest WAR, actually.
2014 was the year Mookie Betts went crazy. Or no, that was 15.
No, Corey Kluber led in WAR, actually, that year. Corey Kluber did.
Holy
Corey
shit.
Kluber in his prime was insane.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Doesn't he have like 3 no-hitters?
Yeah.
2015, he came in second and had the highest WAR. He lost to Donaldson that year. He should have won it that year.
Oh, he should have.
That's a joke, Josh.
Off Donaldson.
Then 2016, he won it and had the highest WAR. And then 2017, he came in fourth, and there was 3 players with higher WAR than him.
That was the year when Judge should have won the MVP overall.
That was the Mookie year. 2017 was because that was the year the Red Sox won the
No,
World
no,
Series.
that was
Altuve.
No, that was the Altuve year.
Oh, sorry. 2018 was the year the Red Sox won
2018
the
is the
World Series.
Mookie year where Mookie had the highest WAR. And then 2019, he won it. So, I mean, he led the league. Well, actually, in 2019, he won it and he didn't have the highest WAR. Bregman had a whole 1 point higher than him in WAR. And
He went crazy on defense. I think that was the year he had 40 bombs, 120 RBIs, and won the goal. And I don't even know if he got the platinum glove, but I know he won the Gold Glove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had 41 homers and 112 RBIs.
Dude, what a fall off for Alex Bregman too. I mean,
he had some injuries the last few years, but
yeah, I mean, I think. Okay, so I know my stance on this, but I'm curious to hear your all's, because people are talking about it now that Trout just had another knee surgery and he's out for the season. If he retired right now, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
yes.
No questions asked. I mean,
Well, I mean, I knew what Dante's answer was going to be. I was just kind of asking for Michael or Ryan because I know you all didn't watch as much.
I mean, he's had such a short career, but like whenever you're top 4 in MVP voting for 2, 4, 6, 8 years in a row, top 5 for 9 years in a row. I mean,
yeah, we're talking about probably the most dominant prime out of any player in the last 50 years.
Aaron Judge is low key making a run for that title.
He is. That's why I said one of. I think Judge also had some injuries, but
the thing that holds Judge back is he didn't become good till he was like 27.
Yeah,
no.
Well,
No.
I think he was 25.
He was second in MVP voting when he was 25.
Yeah, that was his rookie year.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, it was.
And
He
Mike
played
Trout
the year
debuted at
before.
19 was what I like. That's what I'm saying is the difference.
But I mean, so Judge, obviously he'll be high in MVP voting this year, but he's kind of inconsistent. Like last year, he was 15th in MVP voting.
He missed like 3 months.
Well, he played 106 games. Yeah, I guess so. 3 months.
He missed like 2 months.
19 and 20, he missed a lot of time and didn't even make MVP voting.
Yeah. But I wanna touch on my recent bet, my return to Hard Rock. It was to put money on the San Diego Padres to win the World Series this year. That bullpen is elite. They've been Bogarts is back. He's finally actually back. He's actually a decent player again. And it's so wide open. This like even compared to recent years, I just think no one's on pace for 100 wins. I think literally anybody that makes the playoffs could win the World Series this year. But I think I like to lean bullpen. And the Padres bullpen is just so good. I mean, they got 8 high leverage relievers.
Next month.
Okay.
Next month we should revisit right before the playoffs our initial predictions. This will be kind of the first season that we've actually, since we started the pod, we can actually go back and look.
I've actually been pretty spot on with my predictions. Aside from the Royals, I think I've got the rest of them.
Did we write it down anywhere, or we
have a podcast with it, so I can go back and find it.
Yeah, I whiffed. I can already say mine's not going to be.
I think my only one that I know in the AL, I probably had the Orioles. I probably had the Yankees. I think I had the Twins, maybe the Royals, but I think I had the Mariners, which they still have a chance.
Is that the one we had our dad on? I think, right?
No.
It was probably earlier than that.
No, I remember my picks. So the AL, I picked Houston to win the West. I picked Baltimore to win the East. And I picked Kansas City to win the Central, which they could obviously still win the Central. I did pick the Braves to win the East, but I did have the Phillies and the Mets both making the playoffs in the wild card. I picked the Cardinals to win the Central, which I mean they're in second place, and I did pick the Dodgers to win the West. I don't remember if I picked the Diamondbacks or the Padres to make the wild card, but I think they both of them could. In the AL, I think my wild card was Seattle. I did not pick the Yankees. I thought the Yankees were going to be trash. I think I did Seattle, Texas, and Tampa Bay, which
I'm pretty
No,
sure
I
that
think no, you picked Baltimore. Oh, do you mean as your wild cards?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I know you picked Baltimore to win the division.
I initially, before we did the podcast, said it would be a Subway Series World Series. But then I think whenever we did our official predictions on the podcast, I kind of looked back over the Mets pitching and I wasn't too impressed, and I ended up switching it to Padres Yankees, but I could be wrong.
I'm not gonna lie, I legitimately don't even know. I didn't like anyone in the AL before the year, so my opinion is in the American League has changed like 20 different times.
I definitely, I think I took the Reds to win the NL Central.
I took the
You did.
Pirates, I think.
I think I took the Cubs. I was so low on the Brewers this year. I did not like them at all.
I think I have the
And
Brewers just not. I had Reds winning the Central.
the Brewers have surprised. They've been one of my they've been one of my most surprising teams. I thought they lost. They lost their manager. They lost their Cy Young pitcher. Devin Williams was going to be hurt for a good chunk of the year. I don't know. I wasn't high on them at all. So major props to the Brewers. They've proven me way wrong.
Yeah, no, and they continue to do that like every year.
Well, from a personal perspective, I like the Brewer. I would usually pick them to win that division year in year out, but yeah, something about this year is just complete. I thought they were gonna be last in that division, actually.
All right, are we
Ryan,
good
let's discuss.
with baseball talk so me and Michael can rant here? All right. We all know
Paint
John
the picture
Harbaugh
here, by the way.
Yeah, we all know John Harbaugh's, I don't was it had to have been like the record, right? Was he 29 straight preseason wins? But then he lost the last game of the preseason last year. He lost to the Commanders. So he currently has a streak of one loss. They were plus odds against the Eagles last night. And I said, no way John Harbaugh goes out here and loses two preseason games in a row. So I liked the Ravens to win. So I told Michael about it. Michael rode. We both put 25 on it. It is 13-13 with what, 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are driving. So we're like, whatever, we'll take a push. They stop them at 4th and 1.
By the way, hold on. By the way, for whatever reason, John Harbaugh is calling timeouts.
I'm not even there yet, Michael. I'm not even there.
Oh shit, we're way behind.
It's 4th and 1, and they get it. I didn't think they got it. I thought they were a yard, maybe even 2 yards short, but they give them the first down. So now it's under the 2-minute warning. The Eagles are now driving. And yes, John Harbaugh starts calling timeouts to leave time on the clock so that if the Eagles, because they're in field goal territory now, they're at like the 35, they can take the ball back and maybe score. They eventually stop the Eagles 4th and 5. It's a 47-yard
49.
49-yard field goal. Jake Elliott doinks it. Tie game.
My goat. My fantasy goat, Jake Elliott.
He doinks the post. It's Ravens ball.
13 seconds.
With 13 seconds. We're like, They can try something. They run the ball. No, they try to pass it. The quarterback gets sacked and he fumbles it. So since John Harbaugh used all his goddamn timeouts to try to win this game in the preseason, the Jake Elliott gets another chance at now an even shorter field goal, and he drills it right down the middle. Me and Michael lose. So John Harbaugh's banned for the year.
I already hated him, but I trusted his preseason risk taking. But I mean, Jesus, he's got to be my least favorite coach aside from maybe.
You know why they lost? You know why they lost? Because in a preseason game, they only gave Rasheen Ali 10 rushes. That's why.
They didn't use Huntley. Is Huntley still on the Ravens?
I don't know.
He's got to be. He's like their perennial like backup. Like
They
Lamar's
should
or
have
throw
given- they
Huntley
should have
out there.
given the ball to Rasheen Ali more.
No, I think they have Emory Jones now.
Emory Jones, stop it.
No, I think he's the one
Let's
that
see
got
who played last night.
sacked.
It was yeah, Emory Jones up, but he was the one that fumbled it. That's
Yeah,
all he
he was
did.
the one that fumbled it. That's how I knew, because you said E. Jones, and I'm like, Emory Jones.
Yeah, it was Josh Johnson, Devin Leary, and Emory Jones were the
Emory
three
Jones
quarterbacks.
banned.
Do they still have Huntley?
Jones should have been banned before.
They don't. They don't have Huntley anymore. That's also why they lost. Damn it! I thought they had Huntley.
Emory Jones been banned since he was on Florida.
Tyler
Yeah.
Huntley's on the Cleveland Browns now.
Oh,
What a quarterback room.
So the
Division
Packers
One.
are
Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, and Tyler Huntley.
So the Packers are losing today, is what I'm hearing, to Tyler Huntley.
I need some Jameis Winston preseason in my life.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's playing the Packers today, so
Who's the Packers' backup quarterback?
probably Sean Clifford or Michael Pratt. They'll probably both play today.
I kind of like Cleveland there.
Michael Pratt wiped Caleb Williams, by the way, in college. So
Well, Michael Pratt was one of my favorite quarterbacks in college, so I might have to go with him. Tulane legend.
I think we still have Alex McCullough or whatever, the UFL MVP.
Wow, Browns are favored by 5.5. I'm assuming it's because of the fact that
They're in Cleveland.
It's a preseason game, bro. They're gonna have like maybe 10,000 fans
Dude, if it was a home game for the Packers, there would be 65,000 people
because
there.
they have
yeah,
nothing
because
else to
there's
do.
nothing else to do there.
They had that family night practice with 69,000 people there for a practice.
Okay, Jesus.
I kind of like Packers money line at that point for plus 210. I kind of like it. Anyway,
Is Trask gonna play for the for the Bucks?
Yeah, of course.
Bang.
Yeah, he's their backup. I don't think Jordan Love is playing, so well, obviously, but
I don't know. A lot of teams obviously Caleb Williams played today. Josh Allen just did like 2 drives.
yeah, well, Jordan Love's better than Josh Allen, so that's why he needed to play.
Okay.
Look at their stats last year. Tell me who was better.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Okay. I think that wraps it up for us. Any other last comments?
Jordan Love better than Josh Allen and stay twisted.
All right. See y'all next week.
Peace.